Can you click the button at the left? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Out from DC.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. I'd like to announce that this meeting is being recorded. May I have a roll call?
Director Aguilar,
Here.
Topliff,
Here.
Brent,
Here.
Freeman,
Here.
Craig.
Here.
Deschler.
Here. Did you hear me?
Schultz, we didn't hear.
Yeah, we didn't hear Director
But we can see.
I'm here. I can't hear anything. I'm definitely here. Like I unmuted. I was ready to go, but I didn't hear. Sorry.
Can you hear us now? Cool. All right. Okay. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the Chumash people who are the traditional custodians of this land. We pay our respects to the Chumash elders, past, present, and future, who call this place Anasquayo, the land that Isla Vista sits upon, their home. We are proud to continue the tradition of coming together and growing as a community. We thank the Chumash community for their stewardship and support, and we look forward to strengthening our ties as we continue our relationship of mutual respect and understanding. At this time, I'd like to move on to the consent agenda. Are there any questions or motions or?
I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second. We have the motion by Topliff and the second by Brandt. Is there any public comment on this motion? I see none, so I'll ask for a roll call vote on this motion.
Director Aguilar,
Yes.
Director Topliff,
Yes.
Director Brent,
Yes.
Director Freeman,
Yes.
Director Craig,
Yes.
Director Deschler,
Yes.
Director Schultz.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And that motion passes 7-0-0-0.
Ella, did they freeze? Okay.
Doesn't look like it. We do have a member of the public in the Zoom, but no hand raised.
Okay, I will move on from public comment and enter our discussion action.
And I think I'm gonna commit to doing this in June in the future.
Is that a comment you want to share, Director Deschler?
I mean, just to be on this end, I can just tell you that you guys are freezing every couple seconds. And it could be me, but I don't think so because Ella and I are experiencing the same thing. So FYI, like right now you're frozen. Good look, Marcos, good look, but you're frozen.
Okay, you were frozen now for a moment. Now, okay, did you all hear that?
You were frozen.
Did you all hear that motion?
On the consent item?
The
No.
last thing I heard was you closing public comment.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hmm.
Okay.
We're working on this with Cox. It's gonna be fixed.
We can do the thing where we switch it to my phone.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think we learned that in order for that to happen, we have to unplug this. So we'll lose you for a second.
when we were in
Paul's
DC. Oh, no, I'm just meaning when I was on the other
Can
end
you
of
all
it.
hear us?
Now the question is whether or not, I think it switched because I unplugged
The
it.
biggest problem was.
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't think it was already on my phone not working.
The
I think it was.
computer like.
Yeah,
shut
no, that
down
makes
or,
sense.
like, died.
Actually, I know
Or
it
had
wasn't
to
because
do
I
a
didn't, I only
mandatory
turned on
update
my
Oh,
hotspot.
While we were there, and we had to switch to
About a
Ella's
minute before
hotspot.
that.
So that's
Oh,
when we came and we
goodness.
were.
Is it better now? We're reconnected.
Can you hear us?
We'll go with
Okay.
this.
All right.
We'll go with
Okay. Okay, let me restate some of what we went over. So we ended public comment and then we entered item 4.1, the resolution for providing the collection of 8% sewage tax. John then explained what that was very briefly. Are there any questions on this item? No. Okay, see no question on this item. We had the motion to approve by Director Topliff and the second on that motion from Director Craig. I will ask if there's any public comment on this motion. I see no public comment on this motion. May I have a roll call vote on this motion?
Director Topliff,
Yes.
Director Aguilar,
Yes.
Director Brandt,
Yes.
Director Freeman,
Yes.
Director Craig,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes.
Deschler.
Yes.
All right, thank you. This motion passes 7-0-0-0. And now we'll move on to item 4.2, our update on UCSB/county settlement funds.
Well, so I discussed this with our board leadership earlier today. Our District 2 office wasn't going to be able to be here for this meeting, but they can come to the August 13th board meeting. So what we would like to do instead of having the full discussion today is just to present the information and then have the discussion at the August 13th meeting when we can have more of the parties here. But I'll go over the results. Not finalized as far as I know yet, but there have been, the Board of Supervisors took action to approve a project list. And so the project list is $82,000 to pay us for the parking study that they committed to pay us 2 years ago. $500,000 for a public restroom at Camino Pescadero Park, and then $75,000 and $10,000 to maintain it. For the pilot and $600,000 to legal and other tenant services. There's going to be $250,000 for Ivy Rec Park District Children's Park upgrades, and then $178,000 for lighting in the parks. $1,380,000 for the ATP plan that the county had gotten most of the money from the state, but has a local amount remaining to fill, as well as finishing out the lighting priorities that weren't going to be afforded in the $250,000 they approved 2 years ago.
Jonathan, you're going in and out. I don't know if you can hear me, but we're not hearing you. Ella, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastically.
So you're in DC, yeah?
I am. Wait,
Yay.
so they can definitely hear us. We just can't hear them.
Really? That doesn't
Yeah,
seem
look,
fair.
they're laughing at us.
They are laughing at us? Oh. We should be laughing at them
Okay.
because we're having a good
I'm
old
so
time.
tired.
We got
Can you
muted.
hear us now?
This 9:15, like I am so sleepy.
Can you guys hear us now?
Just hang in there for a
Yes.
short amount.
Okay. I don't know where I got dropped, but I was just going over the list of what IVCSD had submitted as the priorities compared to what were the county's Board of Supervisors approved list. So Bathroom on DP, Children's Park, transportation improvement with the crosswalk, and then a contribution to affordable housing development. And we did submit a public comment to the Board of Supervisors before the July 9th board meeting and spoke in person, making the case for the parking startup funds to be included at 300,000, matching what we put into our fund balance for parking startup. But so I made the request, but the list was approved as is. So that's what we were going to just do today, is present the information of what happened again and have the discussion and questions with the county supervisor and county departments on August 13th.
All right. Thank you for that update. And that concludes our discussion and action items. And now we'll move on to reports.
Wait a minute,
Are there
wait a
any-
minute. We don't get to comment? We don't get to say anything?
We're going to save the discussion for this item because we had originally planned to have the discussion with District 2 here present.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I heard that. Could I not make a comment but a suggestion for the next meeting? The August 13th
Yes,
meeting,
you
please?
may.
Okay.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Okay, so I think it might be helpful to do, I'm not sure what this is called, but is have a list of the priorities like you do, Jonathan, a list of what IVCSD and IVRPD proposed to District 2, a list, and then the list that what side by side. So we can see what was proposed by IVCSD, and we can was actually approved by. I would just
You cut out, but I did get that, and I can do it. I
Okay,
caught
good.
it.
Director Brand.
I had another
This is the
question
best
about
way to have a meeting.
I had another question about the meeting that we're gonna have. But I guess to start this list of settlement funding, these projects that are on the list, do they need mutual agreement by UC Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Knowing that, I think that it might be helpful to have, I know we have Kirsten here as UC Santa Barbara's representative, which is great, but I think it would be great to have an official representative from UC Santa Barbara as well, who can speak to the status of that. You know, because it kind of seems like since the list has been approved, it is now over to UC Santa Barbara to evaluate it. And so, you know, I wouldn't want to impede on the negotiations in a way that would make it look like we were being not fair and balanced, and not inviting UC Santa Barbara.
I think that's a great idea, Spencer. I 100%.
Are there any other current board commentaries or questions? I appreciate both of you sharing those comments and suggestions. Is there any public comment on this item? I see no public comment. Are there any last thoughts from any board members or suggestions? All right, I see none. So I will close that discussion action item period, and I'll go to our reports. Item 5, we have reports from members of the board. Are there any reports from members of the board? Director Brand.
Just a quick thing, wanted to share that I met with a student from Professor Dan Clemens' Environmental Studies Program Advanced Environmental Planning course, where their project is to do a number of reports on Isla Vista. So I got to meet with Ashlyn Bell and go over all those reports, and just really appreciate the many professors on campus that are more and more having their students do work in Isla Vista. I think it's pretty cool.
It's great report to hear. Anyone else have any reports? All right, I'll move on to reports from standing and ad hoc committees. Are there any reports from any committees? All right, I see none. Is there a report from our district council?
Nothing from me, thank you.
All right, thank you. And report from general manager and staff.
Yeah, I don't have a long report, but the few things I do have is we had a successful year end of our fiscal year with our accounting. All went very well. You guys heard about the community garden proposals in the June meeting, and we met with the county to go over those plans, and we're wrapping up final approval on that before moving to fundraising. And you'll see that our Ivy Beautiful Move Out Cleanup Program did complete its work. It's not looking 100% amazing because a lot of move outs have happened later after our contract has ended. We had only enough for 1 month. So that's something to notice. It was a good run, and we'll have the data to you soon, but the streets still could use some work. So and so that's just something to look at for the future, is more of the month of July. Other than that, the parking program and the mobility plan are moving forward really well. We have draft action plans for both, and the data collected from the feedback gathered in the town halls now almost done being compiled. So we are getting close to wrapping up those 2 projects, still on our timeline to do that by October. And besides that, a lot of my other time since the last board meeting was spent working on the settlement funds issue. And a lot of our staff has been away on vacation in the last couple of weeks, so things have been overall pretty slow at the district.
All right, thank you for that report. Yes, Director Brain.
What's the next steps on parking now that we have the draft reports?
Yeah, so we're gonna finalize the draft reports, or at least have, there's still a skeleton form. So once we have full draft versions of the mobility plan and the parking plan, we'll go meet with the leadership of UCSB is one group, county, MTD, and because those are the agencies that would have most of the role to play in implementing these things. We'll go over it with them. We'll have make sure that there's nothing, inconsistent with what could be possible to be done. Submit the draft reports to the public, have final chance for opinions and comments to be made on them, and then the board makes a approval of adopting the reports in October. So, and then after that, we'd have to, do implementation, which is a whole other thing. But in terms of finalizing the plans, that's what's left, is meeting with the agencies that would be involved in implementation, and then releasing to the public and getting a final version approved.
Thanks.
All right, well, thank you for that report. I'll move to item 6, our future meeting dates and future agenda items. The next regular meeting of the Board of Directors will take place on August 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. and on Zoom at the community room 970 Embarcadero Del Mar, Isla Vista, California. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting.
Thanks for coming in for a short